Remember this always. We are not creating content on LinkedIn to become influencers. We are trying to attract buyers. So I want you to always look at content through the lens of a business owner. And what that means is, while yes, as I said, the goal is to get them emotionally attached to you, and that's great, we need to make sure that we are moving them towards the middle of the funnel, right? So the content that you publish on LinkedIn is going to get people aware of you. It's going to get them to like you. It's going to get them to trust you. Your stories, your experiences, everything we talked about is imperative to include in what we're doing with the content that we're publishing. But it's very important that you're moving them to the middle of the funnel so that they're actually moving towards a purchasing decision with you. So here's an example right here. So look at this one over here. This is a post I made and about a month ago, and I said, my main motivation has never been money. It has always been freedom. The freedom to make my own decisions, the freedom to travel whenever I want, wherever I want, the freedom to help others. Last week, I made a last-minute decision. I took a flight to Galapagos Islands to scuba dive with sharks. It has been the most riveting experience of my entire life. I didn't need to ask anybody's permission. I just did it. Truthfully, this is the same freedom I want for my clients too. I want everyone who I help to have a successful business where they can have this kind of freedom too. For that reason, I am hosting a free LinkedIn coaching call on December 5th, 2024. It is titled, How to Get Buyers and Collect 10 to 30K Before the End of 2024. I've never felt so generous in my life. I promise to give you my absolute best. I just ask that you attend. To get more details, just like this post. Right? And then there's a photo of me in Galapagos, and as you can see, about 26 people liked it. The views don't even matter. As you can see, the views are pretty low actually on this. But guess what? I had a very specific call to action. I said, to get more details, just like this post. So what happened? All these people here liked this post, and then we just reached out to them for the details. And just so you know what this post was about, when I say I'm hosting a free LinkedIn coaching call, it was actually to a webinar, right? So we run webinars monthly, and I just framed it differently. Instead of saying come to my webinar, which people are kind of desensitized to, I framed it as a free LinkedIn coaching call. Same thing, right? Push that, and as you could see, views were low, but that didn't matter to me, right? I'm not trying to be an influencer here. I'm trying to be a business owner. I was able to send the link to 26 people. So 26 people were directly invited to my webinar. And you know what? They were the ones who asked to attend by liking the post. This is an example of moving people through the funnel. So going back to one of the first docs from this course, right? We were in the awareness phase with the content, as you saw, and then the hook here was the offer for the extended free value, which in this case was a webinar, right? Then we get them to the nurture phase from that. So as you could see, we offered them the webinar. We said, just like this post, making it super easy, low barrier to entry, very low friction. We send them the details. Then once we sent them the details, done. Now we nurture them, right? Then they attend the actual webinar. Once they attend the webinar, it's 1 hour of just pure value with me, right? Then we make the offer for the call, they get on the call, and then they purchase, right? It's a very straightforward system. And as you can see, you don't need a lot of views, right? This post only had about 650 views. We had 26 people who actually requested to attend my free training, my webinar, from this post alone. And this was not the only post. We've published multiple posts advertising this webinar, right? So it was actually much more, and we were able to scale and grow from there. So again, this is something I absolutely encourage you to do. All right, and just to show you the follow-through of how it all looked, so let's go through, for example, a couple of the people that liked it. Let's take a look here. See, okay, let's just say Michelle, right? Go to Michelle over here. Michelle's profile is here. Okay, great. All right, conversation's open. So this is the message I sent her after that post. Hey, Michelle, I just saw your like on my last post about my invitation on my training on how you can generate 10 to 30K before the end of 2024. Do you mind giving me your email so I can add you to the calendar invite? She just said, sure, thanks. Here's the email. I said, is that correct? And she said, yes, correct. Got it. Thanks. Right? Super easy. Do you see how from a single post we're able to do this? And this was this was one post. We've done multiple posts. So this is the reason I'm emphasizing this to you, right? The content, top of funnel. And as you can see, I wasn't boring about the post either, right? Everything I've been saying about a content still applies. I'm talking about my experiences, my stories, my background. Like this whole post here, My main motivation has never been money. It has always been freedom, right? That is more like an opinion post, right? You can all kind of even argue somewhat controversial, but then I talk about the story of me going to Galapagos Islands, and then I tied it all in together with the offer for the webinar. So this is a skill you're going to develop, but I want you to see that everything I say works harmoniously together, right? The idea of building a character, a personality around your avatar on LinkedIn is through posts like this, but I'm still intentionally moving them through the funnel, as you can see, pushing them to the webinar, saying just like this post, and just like that conversation I showed you with Michelle is how we're grabbing the email and then adding them to the webinar. So the whole webinar lesson, there's an entire module on that, so you'll learn about that, but just so you could see it is why I added it in this video, so you could see the whole sequence of how it's all working. And this is just one post, right? We've had multiple others, right? So let's find one here. So here's another one right here, right? Another one. I met a billionaire when I was 23 years old. At the time, I was attending an event in Toronto on high performance. I knew I had very little time with him, so I just asked him one question: How do I become a millionaire? So I asked him, I asked the billionaire, how do I become a millionaire? And his answer surprised me. He said, exploit opportunity when it comes. He then explained, every once in a while, you're going to catch onto an opportunity that nobody else sees. When you see it, maximize the benefit from it. Today, I see that opportunity right in front of my face with LinkedIn Reels. So this is just when LinkedIn Reels was released. Never in history before have we had access to the professional market like this. For the people who know how to use LinkedIn Reels correctly, this could easily push them to a 6 to 7 figure level with their business. For that reason, I will be hosting a free LinkedIn Reels coaching call on October 24th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. If getting buyers is a priority for you, if getting to a 6 to 7 figures is a serious goal for you, then this coaching call will help you get there. Just like this post, and I will send over all the details. Again, as you can see, a lot more people engage with this. Still, the views are not really high, but again, 45 people. And I reached out to those 45 people, just like I showed you with Michelle, got the email, added them to the invite, bang. And as you can see, what did I start it off with? I had a story, right? Talked about something. I didn't just say, oh, running this webinar, who wants to attend? Now, again, a post like that's not necessarily bad in some case, but I'm still intentionally building the emotional connection, talking about my stories, my experiences, my background, and then making a call to action to move people to the middle of the funnel. So this is very, very, very important that you get done. I want you to continually execute on this and just get better with it. Just understand, creating content on LinkedIn, especially to attract buyers, is a skill, right? And you will work at that skill and continually get better as long as you're improving, iterating, doing all the things correctly. All right, see you in the next lesson.